before 2023.
Also, South Africa.
48 hours until the new year. Of course, we always kick off the conversations with our top trending stories. And this morning, we're starting with not very, very happy news. And that's mostly because there are still more cases. Two major stories that, came out in the last 48 hours. One of them in Abuja, where a young man, of course, complained on social media that his brother, of course, himself, were both seemingly abducted by men of the Nigerian police force, taken to a far-away location on the outskirts of Abuja and forced to transfer 500,000 naira from his account into a police officer's account. And, of course, he shared a very, very, very scary story of his experience and how he was accused of being an internet fraudster, accused of being a terrorist and whatnot, and was forced to transfer 500,000 naira into their account. Of course, he was also accused of being an IPOB member or an ESN member. The video also was posting that these are men of the Nigerian police force.
Which is not the case, because if someone is your friend, I'm sure they don't treat you. Not sure, they never treat you that way. They never be hostile to you. They never, even if you have some kind of dispute, I'm sure there's always a way to resolve all of the conflict, but whoever says they are your friend. So it's just worlds apart. I mean, it's just really, really funny that you have to have that as, a slogan, and then the attitude, there's no match with it. But the issue of extortion continues every day and every other time, and it's really, really worrisome and very sad. And so the extortion urge Nigerians not to allow police officers who are not, who don't have warrant to go ahead to search them, with phones and all of that. Despite the fact that, yes, it's okay to search on the grounds that there's suspicion and arrest and detain and even shoot. But in most cases, you also want to look at, the Nigerian criminal code or criminal law that says that, killing, when you kill someone, when you shoot someone for no reason without, an order, it's a murder. So, but I'm just really worried, and I'm asking myself, what is the police commission has been doing with the brutality of Nigerians across board? And these things are not, these things are not in the secret. These things are in the open, in the sense that you constantly see people take up to, social media. Thank God for technology, and thank God for smartphones, and, thank God to...
The answer to, your question is absolutely nothing in big, bold capital letters. Because if you had a police service commission, if you had a police force that was missional out disciplinary measures against errant police officers, the rest of them will actually, sit up and behave better. And it also, for these things that we're showing, talking about this morning, also tell me that absolutely nothing, once again, in big, bold capital letters, has changed with regards to police reforms and, having a better Nigerian police force. No matter how many times you change the Inspector General of Police, no matter how many times they give out new orders to men of the force, no matter how many times the President also gives new orders, absolutely nothing has changed. And I've said it before, and I said it yesterday again, that the Nigerian police force is a cancer, and it's one of the things that I would declare as a cancer in the Nigerian, system itself that needs to be completely cut off. It's not, you cannot reform a system like this.
So let's take a look at that.
You don't send them.
I don't send. They go POS now. I won't go down.
Oh, you say you don't send them. They go POS. Which one you did?
The beliefs by now go down the POS there.
You say you don't send them.
If you know said that we go stay for this place, because if this man comes, they go put you there.
They go back.
Well, these are policemen that are paid, with Nigerian taxpayers' money. They, of course, wear that uniform every day to protect and to serve. But, they eventually turn out to be the thing that, Nigerians need to be protected from. I understand that, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad has, been suspended and is currently, non-existent. But the brutality and the extortion and the corruption still exists and is still there. Deep into the soul of the Nigerian police force. And DCP, ASP, KKP...
Because first of all, he wasn't able to capture, names, tags, and what have you.
Well, if transfers were done, then, those bank accounts can be traced. It wasn't cash, so if it was a transfer, then those bank accounts can be traced. So hopefully, once again, he gets his money, his money back. Among others, but I can't name 5, but, because we have men like that, I wouldn't push him, into that crowd. But sadly, the whole of the Nigerian police force is, for me, a complete cancer. And we cannot simply reform the
but when you say it's a complete cancer, you know how it can be with cancer. It's usually not The remedy is always almost difficult, and in most cases, you find out that those persons actually lost their life.
Well, an investigative committee has been set up, just like others have been set up in the past. But no committee will be able to fix what is going on in the Nigerian police force. No matter how many committees you set up, 9 of them weekly, and subcommittees and other committees to investigate the committees and to interrogate.
And the fact that there's going to be an upward review, because with that the president is expecting that it would also translate in the discharge of duties and maybe behavior as well.
Well, nominated among 180,000 others, amongst millions of scientists that were looked through by a group called the Elsevier BV for these 2 phenomenal individuals. And it really does still remind us that there's a lot of brilliance and there's a lot of value that persons in the system have. The system itself may not be its best, but it doesn't take away the fact that there's still some and a lot of brilliance amongst people in healthcare, in tech, in education, in every sector in Nigeria. And so we're celebrating this morning Kayode Oyewumi, professor, and also Professor Musa Yakubu, both of the University of Ilorin.
Not surprising for me at all. Like I always say, that we have lots of talented people. Nigerians are awesome. I mean, I just hope and wish that we had a system that worked, that supports the people. Then would definitely be conquering the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can also see it
in our society, because it's very key. That's why I feel like a lot of people who get to leave the shores of this country will excel in different spheres, including academics. I mean, and even the fact that because at the end of the day, you find out that some of these developed countries invest a lot in human capital development because they understand that these persons contribute to the productivity. So for all the things that get to happen, in different parts of the world, spirits don't make them happen. They're human beings. Yeah. And so if we constantly invest in their development and, encouraging all of that, human capital development has never been a thing for us. I don't see us as paying attention, because for all of this, I mean, let's even link it back to the fact that you have, police brutality and extortion. Then you have a lot of Nigerians. Everything okay. Let's have a police force that's friendly, that treats people with respect, and, understanding that these persons are humans in the course.
Leaving Nigeria in droves. A writer shared her journey, her marital journey, and just a little bit of it, but not a very, very happy story. She, of course, talked about a medical condition that she has been dealing with called Vaginismus. It's a medical condition where the vaginal muscles clench tightly, and they, have a severe or complete fear of some or all sorts of penetration. And it was, a very interesting read, starting from where she shared that she and her partner, before they got married, had, been abstinent from sexual activity for almost 3 years before they eventually got married. And then after getting married, she discovered that she had, right from her wedding night, when it was time to consummate the wedding, she realized that, she's in a marriage that don't necessarily include penetration. But I also quickly point out that, why are your eyes swelling? I would also quickly point out, that one of the things that she mentioned was, that the only time that she may have, experienced penetration was when she was sexually abused as a child. And so that may also be one of the reasons that she developed vaginismus and, that trauma of penetration. She shared it, as a way to educate and to inform other women who, might be getting married
already. And I mean, these are some of the words she actually put out. But, in a society and a society where, like I always say, we're very big on religion, and what that means. The fact that abstinence and those who believe in the Bible would say that you need to abstain from, sexual activities until you get married. And to some people, it might sound very exciting. I mean, for me, it was really, really, really shocking, quite shocking that, this could actually be a case. But one of the things that I love about her story and her stuff is the fact that, she was able to seek, some medical consent, thinking that there might really be something really wrong with her. And so it brings us to a point where you want to say there's a contradiction between science and, religion at this point in time. But very, very sad, because she sounded like someone who was going through a lot of pains. I mean, the fact that she anticipated that after the wedding, there's going to be just a beautiful time, having, a great time and every other. But also making reference to her experience. And it brings us back to the fact that just within some days back, we talked about people don't move away from, I mean, there's some experiences, some encounters that people have, and then they just move away. For the fact that, oh, we don't want to stigmatize, and then we begin to say that the other person involved is probably going through some spiritual issues. So people don't move away. I'm hoping that we get to a point where we have some form of maybe counseling, some form of therapy that would help people, and that we encourage people to speak up and speak out against some of these issues.
Part, to point out that, like you said, there's trauma from sexual abuse, that, people suffer that may never go away. They might look healthy and look happy and look like they're thriving, but there is certain, types of trauma that just would never go away. And this just might be a perfect example, of a situation like that. And so, there shouldn't be, any leniency with people who sexually abuse others. I don't expect.
I mean, what if she's very resentful? I mean, what if she's very resentful when her husband, it's about to. You're about to.
There's other ways that a situation like that, and then sharing with the world that this is what you and your, me and my spouse are dealing with. That nobody asked for information.
I think that with the social media now, a lot of people really do not understand how far stuffs can actually travel, right? So some people just feel like, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram. It's okay to just put up that post, and then they just feel like it's just limited to those in my space. But it goes beyond.
There's things that someone had tried to shame you about it before. The idea was helping other people. Then you can do it,
But don't you think that this is a lot of revelation? Because I think that
it's too much.
No.
A picture of what you and your partner are like in the bedroom. That's really what I'm saying. So once again, you can share the story listen, you can share the story and say that a colleague of yours shared her story with you.
But that would be a lie.
Yes, and that's fine. A colleague of yours shared a story, and this is what she's dealing with, and this is the moral of the story. The key points for me are sexual abuse and the effects that it could have, much later in life. And the fact that, yes, letting people know, and couples, even if a lot of couples would say no, to the fact that you can have, sexual satisfaction with your spouse for a lifetime without actual penetration. I'm hoping that there is, because, probably we need to also read more. She's been to a couple of gynecologists. Maybe there, needs to be questions as to what exactly could be treatment for vaginismus. And if couples who might be dealing with a situation like that can actually get help as time passes. So those are some of the things that people need to also question.
No, some people just have to go ahead of us and make that mistake and have that experience so that the rest of the world can actually learn.
I don't think it's
No, I'm just saying. It's like some people will probably make some mistakes. It's like looking at yourself. I'm trying to say that sometimes some people would have to go through some experience and share it so that some people can learn from it. So that cliche or that phrase that they constantly say, experience is the best teacher. Not necessarily anymore. Leveraging on other people's experience, that's just the best teacher.
Like not abstaining until you get one.
Like engaging in sex. That's what she said. She talked about that, and also finding other ways of, engaging. Anyways.
Well, best of luck to her and her husband, and of course we wish them luck, with the future of their marriage. Looking forward to hearing. Looking forward to hearing more stories. From
they'll probably
them
have babies very soon. You never can tell.
Our final top trending story this morning is in sports. It's good news, I guess. A new manager has been appointed for all to hire foreign coaches when we have a lot of talent here in Nigeria. There is
into coaching the club. He's been out. Some people have tagged him as the most sacked, coach. And some people would say that's not a popular name, like you have said. In the world of coaching. So
neither was gonna roll, but
but it feels like we always. Let's say this because recently, a lot of talented, awesome. Experience. For what reason would it be? The fact that, we have access to what XYZ, all of your experiences and all of that. But that's not the case. So it brings me back to the fact that we constantly have treated ourselves as a dumping ground for whatever is not very good. So why do we have to source, for coaches like that? Venezuela? I'm not saying that, he's not had his time. But let's look at that. First of all, we want to look at the age, 1960.
Moral of the story for me is, do we actually look at their records? Do we look at, what they've done in the past and the qualities that they have? Because once again, for this particular person, Jose Peseiro, there's really nothing that you can look to or hold on to and say, you know, this is such a fantastic coach and he will go very, very far with the Super Eagles. So there's something that we may not be aware of that makes them continue to look out for these persons.
No, there's something that we're aware of, and something that we're aware of is the way we constantly perceive ourselves. We have looked at ourselves as a dumping ground, and that's why constantly you find out that goods that are substandard are usually dumped here in Africa, in Nigeria, and then we constantly want to invest. So you're just getting,
Just anybody.
Just anybody. Just you go pick someone from Venezuela.
Stay with us.
Ho, ho, ho. Aha. No. Aha.
But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plus TV Africa.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Statutorily mandated to ensure that there is regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. NIMASA bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on this channel.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria.
Western world of real estate. It has showcased architectural design, interior design trends, lifestyle, and real-time property
on Wednesdays.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Niger, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshuke. Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. No question. He's a living legend.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching Plus Event
on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
in raising our kids, parents should stop playing God.
The internet is actually using the people.
But when you are looking for money to help other people, then it becomes easy.
Don't rush into marriage. I always say this. You rush in, you rush out.
Family is the bedrock of every society and the essence of life.
On Today with John and Helen, we dig deep.
We will take you through the pages of the national dailies, and also we have a guest who will be making sense of some of the big stories. Ezekiel Yaitok, it's good to have you join us this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Nice to be with you.
Owes billions in pension arrears. Federal government must focus on power, agriculture to grow economy. This is what experts quoted to say. And Garba recovers from COVID-19. Super Eagle gets new coach. You also find bandits kill district head, 2 sons in Zamfara. President Muhammadu Buhari demands progress report on solid minerals fund, assures manufacturers of access to forex. And
fraudulent. Amend constitution if you are not pleased with Obasanjo's argument, ACF tells Clark and Pandef. A constitution flawed, imposed by military. Ex-President mischievous, says Pan-Niger Delta Forum. We can also find here, pains prolonged as judge's promotion keeps Nigeria, crushes ASP to death in Ekiti. Command blames mechanical fault. Power-drunk SFU policeman manhandle.
On that, you also have federal government releases 16.6 billion naira accrued pension for 2021 MDA retirees. We'll address forex economy in 20.
A story on the Punch this morning, and that is back and forth concerning what the constitution really says concerning who owns the oil in the Niger Delta.
Okay, we live in a justice and relate equality. What that means is that the national template favors all and is not biased against any. It is within that sort of that you have what we call an egalitarian society. That makes for peace and progress. Now let's come to oil. If we happen to have oil as the only object in the country, and it is, let me use the word resident, in a particular locality, there are 2 considerations that you make. One consideration is that this commodity is national in nature. The second consideration is that this commodity is resident in a particular community. Now, the community that the product is resident in has certain benefits and has certain challenges. In that of the oil, it is likely that the oil companies will be resident within that locality, meaning that they will be developed in that locality. It also means that the people within that locality, it will be easier to employ them for certain types of jobs because they work from their houses, so it's cheaper for them and it's easier for them. How do we compensate the people that are having adverse effects? It was within that context that there was this concept of 13% derivation. They looked at the degradation of the environment, they looked at the pollution of the environment, they looked at the livelihood of people who are predominantly Islamic that are being installed, they looked at the health of the people. I am speaking from the balcony of my house in Uyo, which is so far from Ekiti. And yet, if you are basic or barefooted and you walk outside, on my balcony upstairs, you will discover that the soles of your feet are black. This is Uyo. Not to talk of a place like Port Harcourt. If you have a white car and you park it outside the white, you come back and it looks black. and you wonder what's wrong. This is what the people are inheriting. Now, I'm resident in Abuja as well. When I'm in Abuja, I can talk about that. There is a certain level of discrimination in the exploitation of us. Why don't we put in as much effort to exploit our minerals of people that makes a certain group of people to feel that, look, this is ours, let's exploit, as the other people are also exploiting theirs. It is within the minerals delta. Let us allow the others.
Revolution that's ongoing by this administration.
I don't think this is rocket science. We sit here on a daily basis. Farmers cannot go to farm except they pay. Do we need at least experts to tell us?